The 80s in hip-hop were seen as the beginning of the golden era, as many groups are forming, such as the Boogie Down Productions with Scott LaRock and KRS-One, Public Enemy with Flavor Flav and Chuck D, as well as Juice Crew, led by MC Shan and Marley Marl, which had multiple members from the Queensbridge projects. The Juice Crew was a prominent hip-hop collective hailing out of Queensbridge, New York. The group consisted of MC Shan, Marley Marl, Biz Markie, Roxanne Shante, Big Daddy Kane, and Kool G Raps, as well as other few associates. Marley Marl was the mastermind behind assembling the Juice Crew, handpicking their artists. The careers of the collective are both entertaining and controversial, as they're involved in many beefs, with the biggest one of course being with KRS-One's Boogie Down Productions, over which borough is the birthplace of hip-hop between the Bronx and Queens. This feud created a lengthy back and forth between artists from these two boroughs, which created a borough rivalry, resulting in a series of multiple diss tracks. Seeing that it's 2023, the 50th year of hip-hop, I feel it's only right we talk about the Bridge Wars and the series of unfortunate events that came after it. MC Shan released The Bridge, produced by Marley Marl in 1986. The Bridge became an anthem of Queens, particularly the Queensbridge housing projects, as many of the residents and hip-hop fans viewed as MC Shan bigging up and hyping up their hood. The song gained massive attention in the city due to Marley Marl's significant production skills, which captured MC Shan's lyrical delivery, highlighting the importance of Queensbridge. Although hip-hop really started in the Bronx in 1973, the song became so popular that people from other boroughs, Boogie Down Productions, felt the Juice were insinuating that hip-hop started in Queensbridge. BDP, hailing out of South Bronx, felt very offended and responded with a diss track called South Bronx, starting a hip-hop diss war. The underlying story is, it seems that Boogie Down was mad that Juice Crew was claiming that hip-hop started in Queens, however, that never happened. According to Roxanne Shante, the real reason is, they wanted to join the Juice Crew, however, MC Shan never let them in. So the fact that they couldn't join the group, they only had one real option, to go against them. In the 1980s, hip-hop was still fairly new, only being aired on the selected few radio stations. Mr. Magic, someone very closely affiliated with Marley Marl, was a prominent radio personality in New York and was the only gateway to having your music played that was hip-hop. Magic had his famous radio show Rap Attack on WBLS, where he provided a platform breaking up-and-coming artists, essentially showcasing their skills to a broader audience. KRS originally approached Mr. Magic so he can play some of their songs. However, Mr. Magic was not feeling any of the music and told him it was trash and smashed the record right in front of them. Now, Mr. Magic being so close to Marley Marl, MC Shan, and the whole Queensbridge crew, basically since then, KRS-One felt that he picked a side, and ever since then, it's been smoke between Juice Crew and Boogie Down Productions. KRS-One responded to the Bridge with the song South Bronx, and he actually gave the Juice Crew a little heat check with certain lyrics such as, "You got dropped off MCA cause the rhymes you wrote was whack. So you think that hip hop had to start out in Queensbridge? If you pop that junk up in the Bronx, you might not live cause you're in the South Bronx, the South Bronx." This song was the equalizer, equivalent to Drake's 2015 song Charged Up, where he took a little shot at Meek Mill, but didn't fully violate him just to show you where we stand. KRS-One was basically the voice of the whole Bronx. He spoke about Coke de la Rock, Kool Herc, which is actually the person who had the first ever hip-hop party in 1973, and basically showing that Queensbridge has nothing on the Bronx. This beef right here was a modern-day Drake versus Meek Mill, which of course didn't turn physical. Without Twitter, of course, because there was no social media, and no emotional-ass Twitter rants by Meek Mill, and without a woman being involved, which actually kind of happened on the Roxy Shante end. A time in hip-hop where people actually had a problem with you, they had to address it on the mic, and after that, it is what it is. It didn't turn to anything physical or violent, like how we have in 2023 modern times. In response to KRS' song South Bronx, MC Shan released Kill That Noise. Now, although the song didn't have any name dropping or direct disses towards KRS-One or Scott LaRock, everybody knew who the song was towards. Never bite a rhyme, I don't live that way. But when I get this, violators pay. So if you're thinking about dissing me, better think twice, cause next time, brother, I won't be so nice. You can come all alone or bring all your boys, but if you knew what I knew, you'd kill that noise. During that song, he played a snippet of them yelling South Bronx, and after Kill That Noise. Although Marley Marl was hit producer behind most of these records, Marley was not a fan of MC Shan going back and forth with KRS-One, as he felt this beef could reach a place where no one can come back from. Now mind you, this was the 80s, a time where technology was very limited, and all artists shared one producer. It's not like nowadays where you can hit somebody off Instagram and find a producer to produce your song. People had loyalty back then where the producer you started with was the person who made all your songs. After Kill That Noise, Marley Marl was out, and the Juice Crew was forced to hold one of the biggest L's in hip-hop history. KRS-One shocked New York hip-hop in 1987 when he dropped The Bridge Is Over, which was regarded as the hottest diss track ever in New York hip-hop. With the famous 4 bars, Manhattan keeps on making it, Brooklyn keeps on taking it, the Bronx keeps creating it, and Queens keep on faking it. This record sent shockwaves through the 5 boroughs of New York City, as for the first time, 2 boroughs that weren't even involved, Brooklyn and Staten Island, the forgotten borough of course, caught a stray. This song solidified which borough is the rightful birthplace of hip-hop, the Bronx. The public humiliation of the Juice Crew was put on full display, as MC Shan actually wanted to respond with another diss track. However, Marley Marl wanted out and refused to produce another song for him. So to the general public, it seemed like KRS-One and Boogie Down Productions shut up the entire Juice Crew and took the win. However, MC Shan's only producer, Marley Marl, pulled the plug and wanted out, and Queensbridge was forced to take the L. Shortly after, in the summer of 1987, Scholar Rock was killed after trying to break up a fight involving his friend, D Nice. Scholar Rock was defusing the situation and got into it with the assailant, who seemed to be arguing with D Nice over a woman, a common thing that men fall out and crash out over. The situation escalated and Scholar was shot in the head and rushed to the Bronx Lebanon Hospital and succumbed to his injuries. The death of Scholar Rock is often regarded as the first death in hip-hop. The murder of Scholar Rock 35 years later is still unsolved, which actually led to KRS-One putting on a song called Kill a Rapper. You wanna get away with murder? Kill a rapper. The investigation won't go further? Kill a rapper. You wanna get away with murder? Kill a rapper. Scholar Rock's open case, unresolved. The cops never find the killer when it's one of ours. Tupac's open case, even though he's killed in an open place, there's really no haste. Even though we know we live in hell, what about Big L? Hold up, let's stop fronting, let me tell you something. JMJ's dead and the cops don't know nothing. Following these series of events, the Juice Crew continued to expand and make more music. However, they took a major hit when Biz Markie was involved in a lawsuit. Biz Markie, who really started as a beatboxer for Roxy Shante, started getting traction in 1988. In 1991, Biz Markie was involved in a copyright infringement lawsuit over a song Alone Again from his I Need a Haircut album, which sampled Gilbert O'Sullivan's song Alone Again without permission. O'Sullivan and his label Grand Upright Music Limited sued Biz for unlicensed use of a composition, seeing that Gilbert was the true owner of the copyrights. The case closing evidence was a letter that Biz Markie's team wrote to O'Sullivan's agent, requesting permission to incorporate parts of Gilbert's original song. In order to use a sample for another artist, you must receive a clearance, which is basically a license for the record. The request for the sample was never cleared, and Biz Markie and his Cold Chillin' Records team went forward and released the tape. All this evidence stacking against Biz Markie made it clear that he was wrong for violating O'Sullivan's rights. Although it was a short sample, the court believed that Markie was violating O'Sullivan's rights with no cares for legal ramifications. The presiding judge in this case, Kevin Thomas Duffy, found Biz guilty of copyright infringement, forcing Biz Markie and Warner Bros. Music, their distribution, to pay $250,000 in damages, as well as they couldn't release that song or any other song from that album and sell it ever again. The judge believed Thou Shalt Not Steal and made an example out of Markie. During this time in hip-hop, 50% of the artist's sampling songs never received clearance, as it was a different time in the 90s. With this being over 30 years ago, the limited technology made it very hard to catch the unauthorized use of copyrighted material, as back then artists would just speed up or slow down a song and put it out and there were no repercussions. Another reason copyright infringement happened so much unknowingly was because of lack of awareness, as many artists viewed themselves taking bits and pieces from other songs as creativity and inspiration rather than stealing. It was only when this case got escalated to criminal court, artists started to realize how serious an offense it was. 2 years later, in 1993, Biz Markie released All Samples Clear. It's clear that the title was a reflection of the lawsuit he experienced 2 years prior, with the album cover being Biz Markie dressed as the judge as well as the defendant, pleading for himself within the case. The Juice Crew, one of the most legendary groups in hip-hop, are stable in New York City. From being involved in the Bridge Wars with MC Shan vs. Scholar Rock and KRS-One, which helped to popularize the entertainment side of hip-hop and basically make it bigger on a global scale, they did everything we needed in the early days of hip-hop. Thank you guys for your time. If you enjoyed this video, I recommend you watching The Statement Centrally Run Must Be Studied, tagged above, JR the Star. I'm gone.